Boxing truth here. Let me talk a little bit about this Erickson Lubin cat. One of the Heyman prospects on the fast track to a world title shot. Erickson Lubin's already on the path, already knocking on the door for a world title opportunity. And this video is about how easy and how soft Lubin's run to a world title shot has been. He's only had 18 fights. He's undefeated, 18-0. The kid can fight. He's got some tools. He's got some talent. He's a young kid fighting at a young age on the fast track to title contention. And he's passed so far with the guys that they put in front of him, which is not much. He hasn't had much resistance in his career. Nothing but hand-picked cannon fodder that has been put in front of him. And as a result, he's 18-0 with 13 knockouts. Now you look at his resume, and you see a resume that doesn't really interpret him being a number one contender for an organization belt. There's no title fights listed. He hasn't had any minor titles. He's only won one minor title, which was from the WBC, one of the many minor titles that they hold. And those are the titles that get you rated. So he didn't have many title fights. Most of the guys he fought were hand-picked. All of them are hand-picked. Where he gets developed, he fights on undercards, he fights on Bounce TV, and he runs his record to a perfect record thus far. But it's such a soft rise to title contention. Now he's already the number one contender. He was fighting guys that I don't believe were ever rated by WBC. The rankings change every month, but none of those guys I believe were ever rated. George A. Cota was an elimination bout ordered by WBC, which was Lubinson's last fight, and that's the reason why Lubin is now rated number one and is the number one contender and is the next mandatory challenger for Jermell Charlo's belt, and will possibly be Jermell Charlo's next fight. Since Lubin's already the mandatory, and according to WBC's rules, Jermell won a vacant strat with WBC, so he owes one more mandatory, unless he can get an exemption. But if not, Lubin will be the next opponent. But is this kid exactly ready for a world title shot? Very soft run, a lot of hand-picked cannon fodder. He doesn't really impress me all that much. I need to see more. I need to see a lot more with this kid. All I see is a young kid with some talent but still developing, and he's not fully there yet. He's not fully developed. The man's strength hasn't kicked in yet. He's only 21 years old. I mean, look at him. He's a baby. Look at that baby face. Is that a face ready for a world title shot? Is he ready for a fighter like Jermell Charlo, who is entering in his prime, will be 27 years old, is coming off a great knockout win in his first defense against a chump in Charles Hatley. Hatley is trash. I have no idea how he accomplished what he accomplished in the amateurs with that type of style. Guy got no defense. Keith Thurman lost to that dude? You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Keith Thurman, losing to Charles Hatley. But I don't know how the hell he had those type of ones in the amateurs, the run he had, and the type of professional record he had. But just goes to show you that the amateur program in the U.S. just not as strong as these days as it was in the past. But Lubin, soft-ass run to a world title shot, was definitely a little manufactured. Heyman pulled some strings. He's your advisor. And he was able to get you a title shot with you not doing much, not fighting the eliminators, not winning the minor titles that get you rated. He fought a bunch of guys that I don't even believe were ever rated by WBC. But hey, that's boxing politics for you. I'm not really sure what you bring to the table. I mean, do you have a big-ass fan base? Are you a big name? Or are you just another Heymanized guy that's being pushed, being fast-tracked to a world title, and the WBC is doing you and Heyman a favor by getting you rated this quickly with very little you've done in your career? But we'll see if you're ready. I'm not really too sure if Jermell's team are going to be all that interested in going into a mandatory title defense with you next, since there's not much money in that fight to be made. They'll probably ask for an exemption and try to fight one of the other champions, maybe a Jarrett Hurd. But if WC follows the rules, you are next, Erickson Lubin. You are next. So, you haven't done much to earn this opportunity, but you better be fucking ready. Because Jermel's in his prime, and you're still a baby boy, developing in this fighting game. But we'll see what you got. I'll pay attention if the fight gets ordered. And this is your chance to see what you're truly made of. But you're going to have to fight a champion in his prime, coming in with confidence in a knockout victory in Jermell Charlo. We'll see what you got, Lubin. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.